today we're going to go over all methods that I've already taught you. So the first day that I taught you how to solve the system of equation, we learned graphing, then we learned substitution, and then we learned elimination. So we're just going to go over all of it. So I'm only going to do 1 or 2 examples out of each section, okay? All right. When you're doing solving a system of equations by graphing, then you have to graph them. You can either do your calculator and use the table, yes, or you can just use the slope and y-intercept. So I'm going to use the slope and y-intercept. So look at number 1. What is the slope? The m. 1 over 1. What is the b? The y-intercept. So I'm going to go to the y-axis to 2, put a dot. I'm going to rise up 1, right 1, or down 1, left 1. You do have to connect your dots. So please make sure you're taking care of that with your straight edge. Okay, on the next equation, what is, thank you, what's the slope of the next equation? 3 over 1. What's the y-intercept? -2. So I'm going to go to the y-axis to -2, put a dot, and this time I'm going to rise up 3, right 1. And you should be able to see that intersection. And the point where they intersect is called the, anyone? What's it called? The solution. Good. It's the answer. It's the solution. So what is the x value of this point? 2. What is the y value? 4. What if you graph them and they are parallel lines? No solution. What if you graph them and they are the exact same line? All real numbers. Okay, go to the bottom. Was everybody finished with this one? Okay, now we're going to go over how to solve a system by substitution. Substitution is exactly how it sounds. The only way substitution will work is if you have an equation where the variable is isolated. Both of these are isolated. Now, question. Can I just put these in y equals mx plus b form and put them in my calculator and do second trace, option 5, enter? Yes. Okay, so if they're in y equals mx plus b form, that will work. But we're practicing substitution right now. But yes, absolutely, if you're on a test, or you're taking your EOC, I'm perfectly fine with y'all doing that, okay? But for practice, we're going to do it by substitution. Since this is the value of y, then I am going to substitute this in for that y. Yes? So I have x minus 4 equals negative x minus 6. I'm going to move all the x's to the left by addition. So I have 2x minus 4 equals negative 6. I'm going to get rid of the constant by adding. So I have 2x equals negative 2. And I'm going to get rid of the coefficient by dividing, which x is equal to negative 1. Now I want to solve for y. Which equation do y'all think would be better for me to use? Right. Why would I might want to avoid this one? Because the x is negative and then this is negative, so I'm going to deal with a double negative, and I just don't want to make a mistake. So I'm going to use this one. So y is equal to x minus 4. So y is equal to negative 1 minus 4. And negative 1 minus 4 is negative 5. So my coordinate is negative 1, comma, negative 5. Okay, we're going to do one more in substitution because we haven't done this one in about a week. So flip to the back. Let's do number 7. Are one of the equations variable isolated? Yes. Which one? The bottom. So this is telling me that the value of y is negative 2x minus 3. So I'm going to take this value and plug it in for y. Now, do you think I need parentheses?
Yes.
Why? Because the entire value of y needs to be multiplied by 2. So I have 2 times negative 2x minus 3 equals 2x plus 12. Now, what I do need to make known, if y'all go put this in your y equals, it will give you the value of x correctly. It will not give you the value of y correctly. I would have to have this in my equation and rearrange this for y, like put them in separately as y equals mx plus b, y equals mx plus b. That's the only time it will give you the value of x and y correctly. You can't go substitute and then try to use your calculator. Make sense? Okay? So I'm going to say that again. If you're going to use your calculator, you would solve for y here, solve for y here, and then take those and put them in your calculator. Don't substitute and then put it in your calculator. Okay? All right, but we're going to solve it by hand. I'm going to do distributive property. Negative 4x minus 6 equals 2x plus 12. I'm going to subtract 2x. Okay, are y'all good with me doing the same thing in this step, like getting rid of this minus 6? I'm a plus 6. So I have negative 6x equals, and 12 plus 6 is 18. Divide by negative 6, and I get x equals negative 3. Okay, now I'm going to plug the value of x back in. I'm going to choose to use this equation because y is already by itself. So I have y equals negative 2 times negative 3 minus 3. So what is the value of y? So my, excuse me, my coordinate is negative 3, 3. Any questions on substitution? All right, now we'll do one example in elimination because we've been doing this one for the past few days. So in elimination, they have to be in standard form. And let's just do number 8. Which equation should I multiply by to make an equivalent equation so that I can eliminate? The bottom one can be multiplied by what? 2. So I'm going to copy the top one, 4x plus 3y equals negative 5. And then I'm going to multiply this one by 2. So negative 4x plus 4y equals 12. Okay, my x's eliminate, and I'm left with 7y equals 7. And if I divide, I get 1. And then pick an equation to plug in for. I'm just going to use the top one. So I have 4x plus 3 times 1, which is just 3, equals negative 5. So 4x equals negative 8 because I would subtract 3. And divide by 4 and you get x is equal to negative 2. So my coordinate is negative 2, comma 1. Any questions? All right, let me get y'all's assignment and then I'll go over directions. On 1 through 4, I will be grading the graph. Okay, so please make sure that you have graphed both equations. I don't care if you use your y equals button and use the table, or if you use slope and y-intercept, but you need to make sure you connect your dots and then write your answer over here for where they intersect, okay? Question. Look at number 2. How would you graph this equation if it says x equals? You're going to go to the x-axis, and it's going to be a straight line passing through at -3. Very good. Okay, so you don't need anything. Like, so I had a student come up to me earlier saying, what's the slope? What's the y-intercept? You don't need to worry about that. We've learned all this. We've learned how to memorize it. All right. On 5 through 14, you're going to solve by substitution. Okay, you're going to take off 13 and 14 to just shorten your assignment sum. On 15 through 24, you're going to solve by elimination. You can take off 23 through 25 to shorten it a little bit. Now, on number 18, first of all, it's not in standard form. Do y'all agree? So this is going to have to come to the left. The 1 is going to have to go to the right. This one's not, like, you're going to have to rearrange a lot. But can you multiply this equation by the denominator of the bigger one to get rid of the fractions? Which denominator would you multiply by? 18 to get rid of it, because it'll get rid of the 19 too, because that's a common multiple. Okay? All right. That's all. You may start.